Alrighty, yo, what is going up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to WWE wrestlers who instantly knew they effed up badly. This should be an interesting one. Wrestlers who knew they effed up badly off rip. But they know they fucked up the plot. I can't really think of any. I know Jeff Hardy had a few instances in matches where he would had some near accidents. I remember that one time he had a match with Chris Jericho and he was going for the whisper in the wind and he almost slipped and busted shit and Chris Jericho caught him. Chris Jericho caught him, but he still slipped and fell. And I'm trying to think who. Oh no, you know who was really terrible in the ring? Sin Cara. That's who was really terrible in the ring. That nigga was terrible, bruh. But anyway, so without further ado, man, let's get right into this.
There are certain mistakes wrestlers make during a match or segment that can cost them dearly. These mistakes can either lead to behind-the-scenes tension, WWE management losing faith in that specific wrestler, or even from time to time, the wrestler facing a violent backlash. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 moments WWE wrestlers knew they just effed up. Number 10, Braun Strowman stiffing Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is considered by many to be one of the toughest and most legitimate wrestlers of all time. Therefore, it's never a good idea to be stiff with Lesnar in the ring, and Braun Strowman found this out the hard way in 2018. Strowman took on Lesnar and Kane in a triple threat match at the Royal Rumble event, and during the match, Strowman got carried away and delivered a stiff knee to Lesnar. Lesnar directly informed Strowman to slow the F down, and then he proceeded to legitimately punch Strowman right in the head. The punch looked brutal and Strowman evidently got the message, as he and Lesnar never had an issue ever again. Strowman offered some fascinating insight into the altercation during an interview with TalkSport, where he mentioned, "We laughed about it afterwards. It is what it is. We got to the back and I said, hey, my bad. He said the same thing and we went about our business. We're both grown-ups, we both knew what we were getting into, and at the end of the day, we're both very dominant males and neither of us wanted to give in an inch, so in the end, we took an inch from each other." Number 9, Diamond Dallas Page failing to sell a comeback. It's been well documented just how much of a colossal failure DDP's WWE run was between 2001 to 2002. DDP's first opponent during the respective run was The Undertaker, and whilst DDP certainly had the ability to hang with the dead man, one specific mistake resulted in his WWE run falling apart. During a live event matchup, it was DDP's job to feed the babyface comeback of The Undertaker. This is the spot which sees the babyface deliver numerous moves in a row, and the heel then takes several back bumps in quick succession. It's unknown why he failed to feed the comeback, yet due to The Undertaker's standing in the company as a locker room leader, DDP was never looked at as a major player again. Shortly after this incident, DDP would be booked to lose to The Undertaker's wife Sarah on Raw, and after the feud had concluded, he would be moved dramatically down the card. Number 8, Paul London smiling awkwardly. Whilst the on-screen death of Mr. McMahon was supposed to be a serious storyline, one wrestler decided to go off script in the funniest way possible. This would be a mistake that would impact his career forever. Leading up to the demise of Mr. McMahon, McMahon would make his way through the backstage area and walk past virtually the entire Raw roster. There was a scripted direction for the WWE talent to show no emotion. However, Paul London decided not to follow this direction, and when McMahon walked past London backstage, he proceeded to deliver the goofiest grin ever. It was a miracle that London wasn't immediately released following the incident, yet it did alter his standing in the company, and McMahon and his closest confidants never looked at him in the same way again.
Damn.
Number 7, Wade Barrett and Dolph Ziggler breaking Mark Henry's pod.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The Elimination Chamber match for the Intercontinental title is considered to be one of the worst chamber matches of all time, and a part of the reason for this is that a strong portion of the match was improvised due to a mistake. There was a scripted spot which saw Wade Barrett throw Dolph Ziggler into the chamber pod. However, both men put too much force into the spot, and this mistake resulted in Mark Henry's pod breaking. This created an awkward moment as Henry was now free to enter the match, yet he wasn't scripted to enter at that exact moment, so everything just fell apart. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Ziggler discussed the dreaded mistake.
Hey, yo. Hey, hold on. Technical difficulties. Hold on, technical difficulties. Alrighty, we had some technical difficulties. Something. Uh, it's good though. It's all good now. I don't know what the hell was going on, but leave it up to T-Mobile, right?
Wasn't scripted to enter at that exact moment, so everything just fell apart. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, Ziggler discussed the dreaded mistake, and this is what the former world champion had to say.
I think Wade Barrett threw me into Mark Henry's pod at the Elimination Chamber, and I went, and it exploded the door, and Mark is standing there, and and he is not supposed to come out for 3 more people. And I'm laying there with like broken plastic on the ground, and I just hear the crowds come up and just start rumbling for Mark. And I go, oh my God, he's not supposed to be out here for 20 more minutes. And I'm like, what the hell are we gonna do? And I'm like laying on the ground, and I just see a boot go past me, and I go, oh no, what are we gonna do? And we had the craziest improv on the fly 15-minute match with 6 guys.
Number 6, Sim Snooker failing to catch The Undertaker. Sim Snooker had one job at WrestleMania 25. His job was to pose as a cameraman and safely catch The Undertaker when he performed his signature dive. Unfortunately, Snooker completely butchered his planned spot in the match, and this resulted in one of the most iconic wrestlers in all of WWE almost landing right on his head. The mistake cost Snooker his career, as he would be released just a few short months after this incident. It was a total miracle that The Undertaker didn't break his neck, and WWE are known for putting these wrestlers in these types of roles as they know how to deliver them safely, yet this clearly wasn't the case on this specific occasion when it came to Snooker. Number 5, The Miz failing to catch R-Truth. One mistake made by The Miz during a match on Raw in 2012 was so bad that The Miz received a stern telling off from Triple H. The Miz took part in a 6-pack challenge match, and when R-Truth attempted a slingshot somersault, it was The Miz's job to safely catch him. But The Miz failed to catch R-Truth, and Truth had a truly horrific landing that could have resulted in a major injury. Truth was helped to the backstage area, and the concern was so substantial that WWE were forced to issue a statement. R-Truth performed a slingshot somersault over the top rope onto The Miz, who was outside the ring. Although the aerial attack glanced The Miz, R-Truth ended up receiving the brunt of the impact, falling back first onto the floor. At that point, the referee decided R-Truth was no longer able to compete, and WWE officials helped into the locker room area. WWE officials do not believe any injury sustained from the fall will keep R-Truth out of action. Of course, this was just a simple mistake from The Miz, but Triple H clearly believed that The Miz failed in his basic duties as a WWE star. Number 4, Mr. Kennedy drops Randy Orton on his head.
Oh yeah.
One mistake in pro wrestling is sometimes all it takes for a wrestler to be fired, and this was the case with Mr. Kennedy in 2009. Kennedy had just returned from an injury in May of the aforementioned year, and during a 10-man tag match on Raw, he would deliver a back suplex on Randy Orton. Unfortunately, Kennedy made the mistake of dropping Orton on his head during the suplex, and Orton was absolutely livid. His anger was supported by John Cena, and this resulted in Vince McMahon deciding to let Kennedy go with immediate effect. Kennedy would then later claim that Orton jumped too high for the suplex, so as far as Kennedy is concerned, the mistake was Orton's error. Now, Kennedy had all the tools to be a future world champion in WWE, yet even his potential and his popularity wasn't strong enough to stop one simple mistake costing him his entire WWE career. Number 3, Big Cass.
Well, to be fair, he did injure John Cena too. John Cena had tore his pectoral muscle because Mr. Kennedy held on too tight and made him extend. Forcing him to tear his you damn near injured 2 of the biggest stars in the company. Yeah, it's understandable.
The beatdown. In 2018, one of the names that Vince McMahon was high on was Big Cass. Cass would embark in a feud with Daniel Bryan, and this feud was designed to elevate Cass and ultimately was intended for Cass to show the world what he was capable of. On the May 1st, 2018 edition of SmackDown, Cass will be involved in a now infamous segment with a mini Daniel Bryan. Cass was supposed to simply hit mini Bryan with a big boot, however Cass made a mistake that cost him dearly. He would go off script and continue the beatdown in a completely unexpected moment. This mistake made McMahon so angry that Cass will be released from the company, and this is what he had to say regarding his firing during an interview with Chris Van Vliet. I remember the day that I was fired. It was a meeting with Vince. Me and him and Mark Carrano were in there for a while, and we had a really good conversation. It was more a conversation about the performance was maybe touched up upon for a minute in terms of Big Cass, but that conversation was mostly about William Morrissey. I don't know why the future endeavors wasn't included. I don't look into that, but I thought it was amicable when I left the building that day. Number 2, Vader misses a key spot. Shawn Michaels didn't have the best reputation in 1996, and at the annual SummerSlam event, he decided to let one mistake cost another wrestler a chance at superstardom. On the show, HBK would wrestle Vader for the WWE title, and in a spot in the match, Vader forgot to move out of the way following an elbow drop. This was a simple mistake, and HBK should have simply moved on and not drawn attention to the blunder. In a super unprofessional moment, HBK berated Vader and kicked him right in the face. Following this mistake, Vader's push was immediately cancelled, and Vader would cease being considered as main event talent in WWE. And number 1, John Cena forgetting to sell. WrestleMania 23 was main evented by John Cena vs Shawn Michaels for the WWE title. The match is considered to be a classic by many fans, yet HBK wasn't too happy with the quality of the match. It's vital that wrestlers sell in the matches, and when it came to Cena, he seemingly forgot to sell his leg throughout the match. This pivotal mistake angered HBK so much that he refused to shake Cena's hand following the match, and this was reportedly a legitimate shoot. The two would eventually work together multiple times in the future, and they would embark on numerous other classic matches. HBK was a perfectionist, especially during his second WWE run, and it was likely that he thought Cena's lack of selling hindered the match. But there you have it, folks. 10 moments
That's understandable. That's understandable. I can understand, because Shawn Michaels is there to help you, bruh. So if all you gotta do is sell a leg injury, you better sell a fucking leg injury. I don't care who you is. Shawn Michaels is there to help you, bruh. But anyways, though, that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, peace out.